at Global DHL Global Hubs. So we operate a lot of freighters. So based on right flight or best flight, whichever is possible. And then we move the shipment to the destination sent country. At destination gateway, we custom clear the shipment as per the law of the land. Follow the shipment to nearest DHL service center. And then sorting and bagging is done, and accordingly dispatches are done. And finally, the shipment is delivered to our customer or to the customer's customer. So this is a small overview about how DHL shipment journey happens in our network. So I'd like to call upon Ashim Sen, who will take over and discuss about our services during current period, during lockdown period. Ashim, over to you.
Thanks, Munawar. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Ahluwalia. Thank you so much for arranging this webinar and calling us to give us, a small update about how DHL is operating during this COVID period. So as things stand, currently we are operating in 49 out of 53 service centers across the country. So across the country, DHL has 53 direct, service centers across 40 cities. So out of those 53 service centers, we are already operational in 49 service centers. The balance, so two out of the four missing out are from West Bengal, one in Park Street in Calcutta, the other is Howrah. But we have a bigger service center in Salt Lake. So Salt Lake is catering the other places in and around Calcutta. So actually it then boils down to two, which is non-operational, which is Moradabad and Agra, which is completely a red zone. Yeah. So that there we are facing some problem in operating. So in these 49 out of 53 service centers, customer can come down and hand over the shipments to us, or come and collect the shipment for their import shipments. In these places, there are also certain, shipments that we are able to, go out to customers' premises and pick up the shipments. But those all depends upon, the number of vehicle passes we have got, the number of employee passes we have got to operate during the scenario. But our service centers are operational so that customers can at least come and drop the shipment or collect the shipment from our service centers. Beside that, a large part of our country is also serviced by our group company Blue Dart. These places are primarily in tier 2, tier 3 cities. So Blue Dart is also operational in more than 525 pin codes in these upcountry locations, where through the Blue Dart network, DHL is able to serve their customers. So overall, we are able to operate to a large segment of India's geographical spread at this point of time. Now, for which customers are we servicing? We are servicing for those customers who are permitted to operate at this point of time by the government or the local regulatory bodies through the state notification or any special separate permission given by the district magistrate office. So whichever customers are permitted and have the permission to operate under the notification of state or district magistrate approval are the customers that we are serving. Now, to identify which are these customers, we have started this process of registration with DHL for the permitted customers. So they need to give, all these customers who are permitted needs to give a self-declaration based on a format given by DHL. Once we get the self-declaration, once we get the self-declaration, we register in our customer service, and then we service these customers in a very controlled environment through our control tower. These customers may need to self-drop or self-collect at the service centers, and at certain places and certain nature of shipments, particularly document shipments, we are also able to attempt deliveries or pick up the shipment. Because the infrastructure is currently constrained because of number of vehicle passes, employee passes, the number of vehicles that we are able to ply on the roads are limited, and hence not all customers or all shipments are getting serviced through pickup and delivery, door pickup and door delivery, but the service centers are open for self-collection or self-drop for these permitted customers. So for us, our gateway operation or the airport operation is concerned, DHL courier terminals in Delhi as well as Bangalore is completely operational. So we have our own terminal in Delhi and Bangalore. Both the terminals are operational. We are having people coming down, and by maintaining the law and order specified by the government of social distancing and other protective measures, so we are following that, and we are operating our gateway operations or the airport operations in Delhi and Bangalore. So far as Bombay and Chennai is concerned, Bombay is the EICI terminal, the Express Industry Terminal, and Chennai is the Airport Authority Terminal. So both these terminals are also operational, but last 2 days back, there was a problem, in Bombay, wherein one of the staff in the, I think the CCTV room was identified as COVID positive, and terminal was shut for a couple of days. We are yet to get an update for today, but yes, it was shut for a couple of days. For the Chennai is concerned, Chennai is operational as we speak today. In between, it was not operating because of that notification that Tamil Nadu government came up with. But today it is operational. So if it is allowed by the government in terms of not a blanket restriction or such COVID cases, we are operational even in Chennai and Bombay. So far as our global network is concerned, where we can operate and where we cannot, we have worked out a link which is given below, www.simplydhl.com. It's a public domain. If you go to this link, if you go to this URL, you can take it down. If you go to this URL, you will be able to access entire 220 countries, details as to where DHL is operating and where DHL is not operating. Which are the countries which is under complete lockdown? Which are the countries where there is partial service? Which country has been impacted by what kind of transit time? So all details are available in this link. So if you are looking for any particular information at a global level, at a global platform level, this is the link that you should take down and access, and you will get all the information, particularly for that country, whether we are picking up and delivering shipments there. Munawar, next slide. So there are a few common questions that we got from FIO, and I think it was important that we address these questions. If there are any further questions beyond this, I'm happy to take this. Yeah. So is DHL handling export documents? Yes, we are handling export documents for all the customers, all the organizations, yeah, who are permitted by the government to operate through the state notification or central notification, the MHA notification, or the local district magistrate office, or local any other regulatory bodies. We are handling their shipments, and for them, their export documents, their export samples, or their commercial shipments, we are handling from the places where DHL is operating. And as you have seen, we are operating in quite a large number of places. 49 out of 53 service centers we are covered. Yeah. What is the status of the export documents lying in banks? Whatever shipments we have got from overseas, the bank shipments, the bank document shipments, mostly we have delivered. Yeah. If we are operating at that location, we have delivered wherever DHL is directly operating. Where Blue Dart have started operation, there also things will start moving. Yeah. But in the 53 service centers, these 40 cities, wherever DHL has been able to open up all their service centers, as you have seen, over a period of last 1 month. And as and when we could open up, we were able to go and deliver this bank document. And as of now, most part of our bank documents are being covered. We have delivered. Yeah. Only in certain upcountry markets, maybe that it may be pending. Otherwise, in the major locations, it's all covered.
Mr. Ashwin, can I intervene?
Okay.
Yeah, this first 2 points, I think our members would also be interested to know about the countries of operation, because there might be a couple of countries from which you must be sending the documents to country X, but not to country Y. So do we have a company that?
Do we have sorry, Mr. Aluwali, I didn't hear that properly.
This is Prashant Seth, and I am asking that export shipments based on the country of exports, the documents would be required to be delivered to that respective country through bank or maybe directly, so that the importer overseas can take delivery. So Do we have chalked down the list of operations in overseas also, that maybe we are operating in this region, maybe Asian region, Africa
Yeah,
region, or things like
we have, Mr. Aluwali, and that's the reason I know I mentioned in the earlier point that we have a link, URL link, the internet link, which is a public domain link where uh, you can go and check which country we are operating, which country we are shut down, and you will be able to understand whether DHL is operating there. Munawar, can you please go to that link and maybe project so that all the participants can um, get to see what kind of information is available there?
Ashim, this is Sarin here.
Yeah.
Mr. Prashant, if you're okay, maybe we can send across this link later on to all the participants in this conference.
we can do that. In fact, I have shared, because you work on the pin code basis. So while taking confirmation, we have taken the pin codes of each and every participant that we will share with you. And vice versa, we can share your links and details also with the participant post meeting.
That's wonderful.
Okay. Munawar, scroll down. Scroll down. So, Mr. Aluwali, as you see in this, means on the sheet, for every destination, in every country, it's all mentioned there as to which country, what is the transit time impact. So all this will be available for all the countries where DHL is operational or DHL has their infrastructure. The information will be available. This is updated every week, twice a week, in fact. Munawar, can you scroll down? So for an example, Mr. Aluwali, if you see Cuba is currently under temporary service suspension. So if an exporter is sending a shipment to Cuba and there is a document to be sent, Cuba will be a challenge because there will be a temporary service suspension there. Go down, Munawar. So like for an example, India, the update for India in the network is that we are under a temporary service suspension, except for documents to 428 postcodes, in 11 main cities. So similar update is available for each and every country wherever there is a complete lockdown or a partial lockdown. Whenever go down. Yeah. For example, Mauritius, temporary service suspension. Turkmenistan, temporary service suspension. So all countries where DHL has, infrastructure, DHL has service, the information about those countries are all available here. So does this address your question, Mr. Aluwalia?
Yes.
Yeah. So as Sarin mentioned, we will send you this link, and you can share with all the participants, and they will be, and this is updated twice a week. So whenever any of the exporters have this requirement, they can go to this site and understand whether DHL is operating in that country or not.
Okay. Please.
Has DHL started accepting samples for overseas destinations? Yes, we have. For the permitted customers who are permitted by the government and has given us self-declaration and registered with us, we are accepting samples for overseas destinations. Subject to that country is also operating. If that country, the overseas country is not operating, like Cuba, we will not be able to send shipments. If that country is operating, we are accepting shipments. Customer need to come down to our office and drop the shipments in the nearest service center to that exporter. If there are certain places, if we can go, we will also go. Yeah, but mostly it will be self-drop or self-collection. What's the state? The question number 4: what's the status of handling single-piece shipments of e-commerce exporters? This will absolutely depend upon whether that particular e-commerce exporter is permitted by the government to operate. They have to check with the local district magistrate office or local bodies or trade bodies and understand whether they are operating. If they are operating, if they have complete clarity that they are permitted to operate, then they need to furnish the self-declaration letter, and then we will be able to serve them. So sorry. So the e-commerce exporter should get a clarity from the local district magistrate office or any trade body under which they are registered, get a complete clarification. And if if it is confirmed to them that yes, they are covered by the government state notification or central notification and local body to operate, then only they should give that self-declaration to DHL and register themselves, and then we'll be able to pick up their shipments. Is DHL bringing documents from abroad, and if so, from which destinations? I just answered that. Yes, we are bringing shipments from abroad. For which destinations? Or what I understand is that from which origin? Yes, whichever origin is operational, we are able to pick up shipments from there into India. Yeah, if in India, as you have, again, I'm reiterating, as you have seen, we are operational in 49 out of 53 service centers. And through Blue Dart, there is another 525 plus pin codes we are covering. So yes, in most of the places in India, we will be able to serve our customers for sending shipments or bringing in shipments, provided that customer in India is permitted to operate by the government. Why standard declaration of SOP is being insisted from banks who have never stopped to operate? So this is a operational requirement. When I say operational requirement, yes, banks are exempted from the very beginning, but still when we are picking up shipments from banks and our vehicles are moving, our vehicles through the way into our service center or from service center to the airport, there are multiple nakas that we need to cross, and the information level at every naka with every policeman, every person who is guarding that naka may not be the same, and there may be a lot of questions asked as to this shipment आपने क्यों उठाए, ये shipment ये लोग काम कर रहे हैं क्या? So the understanding, the awareness of bank is operating across the country without any issue, or they are permitted from even the phase 1 of the lockdown, that is not there across. So hence we have approached the headquarters of all the banks that we work with. We have got almost every bank headquarters giving us the letter, a standard centralized letter, based on which we have taken the local branches offices letters from most of the branches who has shipments, and so that we can carry that declaration while the shipment is in transit to our service center or airport, so that if there is any questions or any physical checking at the naka by the local policemen, we are able to show them the declaration that banks, this is given by the banks, this declaration, and they are allowed to operate. So that these are purely tactical operational reason, so that the customer service is not interrupted by any way. The vehicle is not stopped for a long number of hours, and the service can be smooth. So that's the tactical operation reason why we need this declaration from bank. So this is the update for the frequently asked questions, if I may say, which were given by FIO. But I will be happy to take more questions once I am through with my presentation. I have a few more slides, or a couple of more slides to go through, and then please you can go ahead with your questions. So in our the way we look at the scenario, how things are expected to pan out post-COVID. So we have gone through a few reports given by various consultants. Mostly, people are talking about staggered resumption. It is expected that around 50%, in next few months, we will be able to get back to the 50% of the GDP kind of operation as the lockdown opens up. It is already in the public domain that GDP is expected to contract by around 2 to 3% because of this lockdown and the cascading effect. So we clearly see that there is an impact of COVID post the lockdown. Also, it will take some time for people to resume operation in full-fledged manner, because of availability of funds, because of availability of people, because of perhaps even the orders. Yeah. So things will get back to normalcy, but it will take some time, and there is an element of sluggishness that we intend to see. But at the same time, we also expect that there will be a lot of surge at the beginning, once the lockdown is over, to clear the pending orders. We are already seeing that because for the customers that we are operating, who are registered with us, we are already seeing that surge. That customers are clearing up their backlog for the last 1 month. Yeah. So that will continue to happen as more and more customers open up and more industries are opening up. But one thing is important to keep in mind is that a large portion of the air freight is managed by the commercial airline, the international commercial line hauls, and passenger aircraft. The resumption of passenger aircraft will be in a staggered manner because the entire international flying traffic, the passenger traffic, may not come back immediately. It will come back on a staggered manner because there will be a lot of apprehension, there are a lot of travel restrictions, travel bans, and there will be a lot of reservations. Yeah. So passenger traffic is expected to be constrained. Is expected to be less, and if passenger traffic is less, the passenger airlines that airline companies will deploy will also be lesser. And if the passenger airlines are lesser, the belly space available for the air freight will also be lesser. And hence, there will be huge pressure on the cargo freighter. And hence, we have already seen that once China opened up, and we are absolutely sure that once economies start opening up, there will be huge pressure on air freight capacity. Yeah. And there will be also huge pressure on ports and the availability of transportation because of the availability of manpower. Yeah, a lot of people have gone back to their natives. A lot of daily wage workers have gone back to the natives, and it will take some time for all the manpower to come back and start operating. So we expect that there will be congestion at port because of this sudden spike after the lockdown is relaxed, and there will be shortages of labor. So air freight capacity shortage, port congestion, and shortage in terms of manpower to run the logistics network smoothly is something that we are anticipating. Yeah. And as I said, that we are expecting that at least initially, yeah, for the first few months, there will be a lot of sudden spike in the demand because there will be a lot of pendency at both ends, in both at the places where it is getting sent for consumption and also at the places where it is getting produced. So initially there will be a sudden spike in demand, and there will be a requirement for bulk volumes, yeah, the bulk movement. So capacity and the ability to manage scale will be important. The third thing we are expecting, which we had started seeing before India went into lockdown, we had already started seeing that lot of importers in Europe and US started giving orders or exploring vendor development in India, which was earlier in China. Because when India was getting into a lockdown situation, China was just coming out of the lockdown situation. So we were during the transition period, we had already seen customers talking about new lanes, yeah, because those the lanes were from where they were not used, they didn't used to get much business, but the customers are now giving the orders to India. There were a lot of alternate vendor development strategy for the importers, for the customers abroad. So we are expecting there will be new lanes, the construct, the dynamics will change, and the new lanes will come in the play. Yeah, it may not be the normal trunk lanes that we are aware of. There may be new countries which will come in the play, who will source a major portion of business from India. And also countries will be looking at that China plus one. So what is the other option besides China for production, for sourcing? So we are expecting that India will be sending shipments, Indian exporters will be sending shipments to new destinations, to the new buyers across the world. So there may be few lanes which was not so high in the list. It will slowly come up because the exporters, the importers in those countries will start sourcing shipments from India. Also, we are expecting that a lot of small time, suppliers, a lot of small time suppliers will perhaps close down, and it's just because of this current situation, because there are huge pressure on the cost, on liquidity. Because of these reasons, there are a lot of small time suppliers will close down, and that also will lead to some changes in dynamics in terms of the lane mix that we otherwise see in the international trade. Uh, the other anticipation that we are having, and it is already seen during this COVID period, is that only those perhaps players will be able to operate who has that reach, that scale to manage. Yeah. Uh, so perhaps only the global players who have good scale across across the India and across globally, and also who has good technology, who has good fund position. These are the companies who has a reach, who has a capability, infrastructure, fund position. These are the people who will be actually be able to manage the rising cost, the rising demand, and the stress that logistics industry will go through because of sudden spike in demand after the lockdown eases out. So it's important that customers, the exporters or the importers, are engaging with the global players during the post-COVID scenario. Demand for contactless deliveries. So this is a phenomena which is not that yet in India, but in a lot of Western countries, in US, there is this concept of contactless deliveries where multiple options are given to the customers, particularly for the e-commerce customers, where shipments can be kept in some other place, maybe with the neighbor or in the locker or in the service center, and customers will come later and pick up the shipment, or in the box, in a separate box, or the scanner will take the photo of the shipment without at that location of the delivery instead of signature, so that it is completely contactless. So these are different kind of uh, uh, final mile or the last mile solutions that customers are expected to demand from the logistics service provider, because there will be a little bit of apprehension as to whether their things can go wrong if they are touching the samples or touching the boxes. So they may want that gestation period, they may want that cooling period to happen before they touch that box. So such the contactless deliveries demand may increase over a period of time. And finally, I think there will be the current period is putting a lot of pressure on the government revenues, and hence we are expecting increased compliance as we move forward. Yeah. Uh, while there are a lot of easing out measures which have been implemented by the government due to cope up with this COVID period, at some point of time there will be a lot of compliance related measures perhaps will be taken, which we are anticipating because the leakage in revenue uh, needs to be, the government will try to arrest the leakage of any kind of revenue. So there will be a lot of compliance related measures, and it is extremely important that the logistics service provider is able to support the exporters and importers with all technology, all related documents, which is completely compliant and it doesn't put our customers in the wrong side of the law. So these are the 5-6 critical things that we are anticipating, which we expect that once lockdown is over, in the first 3 to 6 months time, or even you can say the first 3 to 1 year time, we are expecting logistics industry to go through a learning phase, and these are the things which will be important for the logistics service provider to extend to their customers, for their customers to survive in the tough condition which is expected of the COVID period. Yeah, so that's it from me. I am happy to take any questions related to any doubt you have on our our operations coverage in particular area, or any bit of process. I'll be happy to address that.
Thank you, Ashim, for a detailed presentation and covering us all the aspects, and also showing us some ray of hope in terms of order diversion to India. Before we take on questions, Mr. Vijay X, Chief Executive Officer of Express Industry Council of India, has also joined. This council represents a host of express industry. I will request Vijay if he can give a quick observation just to add on what Ashim had said, then we can just move on straight away to the Q&A.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Prashantji, for inviting me on the session. I had joined a little bit late because I had some other engagement. And thanks, Ashim, for the wonderful presentation. It gave a lot of insight on the industry paper and also like Prashantji said, the opportunities that is open for Indian exporters, post-COVID pandemic. Just to give, I mean, I won't take too much of time here. Just 2 or 3 big points so that the exporting community here is also aware of the challenges that the industry is going through. One is, of course, there are huge challenges in terms of the number of people that can go out for deliveries, can handle shipments. There are various social distancing guidelines which have to be met with based on MHA guidelines. So that's a huge bit of challenge. And as you would see from DHL's presentation, the reason why they have ramped up operation on a phased manner is also due to these challenges. And this is exactly the same thing that the other express operators have been facing. We also have other big challenges in terms of, when we have our shipments out there for deliveries, even essential shipment movement sometimes becomes extremely difficult. There are, we have had cases in specific states, sometimes in certain cities where the district magistrates or the SP police do not give permissions for movement of urgently required medicines and life-saving drugs. So, so as the industry, as the lockdown, winds down, and in some of the places when lockdown is lifted, I foresee that this issue would still remain in terms of challenges in operating on the ground. So there would be some time that would be required where from an operating perspective there would be challenges on the field, because suddenly you will find that there is this place which was not a containment zone suddenly becomes a containment zone. And this is something which we are facing quite a bit. I mean, we have had issues at a lot of cities across. We have reached out to the, I mean, as EICI, we have reached out to the chief secretaries of various state governments. But however, I think to be fair, state governments have their own challenges which they are grappling with. The international side, like what Ashim had mentioned, the air freight market has really hardened up. You will find that, especially in places like China, there are tons and tons and tons of shipments ready for evacuation, and it's sometimes taking more than 4 to 5 days for some of the shipments to move, because there are only freighter movements which are happening today. So as a result, it's extremely difficult for logistics movement even today. For instance, in China, at some of the places, you have vehicles backing up kilometers together before they can get into the airport. So these are challenges which are there, and I guess I'm sure over a period of time, as industries open up, as countries open up, and as possibly the airlines open up, we will find some bit of comfort there. However, as one last thing that I would like to leave, I'd like to convey to the group here is that as express operators, we have probably about 85% of the total freighter capacity in the world are handled by the integrators, where be it DHL or FedEx or UPS. And all of these operators have been operating across the world, and they have been in the forefront as COVID warriors, trying to ensure that urgently required life-saving drugs and COVID materials are shipped out and delivered across the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vijay, for your observation. Now we have around 6-7 participants who have raised their hands, so we will go by sequence. I'll request my going to please unmute sequence-wise Ms. Ishwarya and followed by Ashutosh and Sasi Kumar. Ashutosh Jagnani, followed by Sasi Kumar and Kundan Kumar Singh, who wants to raise a query. Please go ahead.
Question. Hello. Yeah, can I ask question now?
Ashutosh, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, I have a question. We were using DHL earlier, but then we started using some other company. So our DHL account is inactive. Can you, is it possible for you to guide me what will be the fastest process to activate the DHL account and start using it for shipments? We have around 5 shipments lined up for DHL.
Now I will take that question.
Please take it.
Yeah. So you will have to contact your account manager, whoever is managing your account, in order to understand what is the issue, or if there is anything that we can do, we will definitely help you.
See, currently account manager is not allocated. Reason being the account is inactive due to non-usage.
Okay.
So whom to contact? We have nobody to contact. You know, it's I don't know whom to contact.
Yeah, you can call up our customer service, yeah, and give your account number and tell that you would like to restart business, and this lead will be considered as a lead, and it will flow down through our telemarketing team, and it will finally reach to the right person who will call you up.
Okay, but then the account starting process will take a lot of time, right? Is there a way to contact someone senior in Mumbai region to expedite the process? Is it possible for you to share a number of someone senior from DHL?
No, it has to follow a process. We will not be able to say why the account is inactive. If it is not usage, then it will not take too much of a time. Then if you already have an account and there is an account manager, then it will not take too much of a time to reactivate.
Okay, actually account manager is not available. So
you contact customer service, they will assign your lead to the right person who will call you up.
Okay, I'll do it.
Right, Ashutosh ji. Now we can move to Sasi Kumar ji.
No, I think it was Mr. Ishwarya.
Yeah. Hi, this is Aishwarya from PSS Krishnamurthy Exports based in Tuticorin. So thanks for organizing this session. My question is, today morning I spoke to DHL and Blue Dart representatives regarding sending samples abroad. But what they told us was we need to give a self-declaration form, but they're only willing to accept documents and not samples. So I'm a bit confused about what is the ground reality, because representatives right now said samples are also accepted, but
do you have an account number, madam?
I don't have my account number.
Okay. So if you're not an account, whatever I said, ma'am, was from the perspective that it's an organization, and that organization has an account with DHL or can have an account with DHL. But if you want to send a shipment as an individual, then you can approach our retail counter, give a declaration, and that shipment. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, then it will be a retail process. Whatever we are talking today is about the corporate process. But if you want to send as a retail customer, as an individual, then you have to approach our retail counter, give a declaration, and that based on declaration, they will only accept documents, urgent documents, or medicines. Yeah. So from retail customers, we are only accepting documents and medicines. From corporate customers who are permitted to operate by government, from them we are accepting document as well as parcels.
So we need to already have a corporate account to be able to send samples, is it?
Yes, you are right. But if you don't have, you can still open an account with DHL and then send the samples. By giving the declaration, provided you have the permission from government to operate.
Understood. All right. Thank you so much.
Right. Our Vice President has joined, Mr. Mahesh Kayalji. And may I request VP to kindly put up his point, please?
Good afternoon. So you have rightly said that out of total service centers in India, only 4 service centers are not working, and in Calcutta it is Park Street and Howrah. In addition, it is the Moradabad and the Agra. But still, it is lot of our overseas our suppliers. As an importer, when we are talking, they say that in countries like Dubai or some Brazil is operating, Dubai is operating. They say there is no in website showing India is under lockdown. They are not taking. So if your local offices can issue us a certificate, if you ask that okay for these pin, suppose I approach your Calcutta region office, they can issue to the importer, okay, documents for these pin codes are acceptable, so that same can be conveyed to the suppliers overseas, and they can show it to the DHL officers over there, and they can accept the cargo there. Because many, although the site is saying you're saying conditional and all, but they are not accepting the documents there. They say no, it is under lockdown. We cannot take the documents for India. That is one point.
So I'll just clarify, Mahesh. As I had mentioned earlier, service to these customers are administered primarily through a control tower. Yeah. If you see so in one of the slides, I had mentioned that service to these customers are primarily administered through a control tower. That means you need to give a self-declaration and you have to register. So it's not completely open-ended. It's not that everyone can send anything and everything. It is only through the registration process, and provided the customer in India is registered, will the supplier abroad can send shipment. Otherwise, they cannot. So if you want to get any shipment here, you can approach us, which is our account managers, and they will guide you as to how to get shipments from abroad. It cannot be done at a network level, because at a network level, India is suspended, as Munawar showed in the service advisory. In network, DHL India will be seen as suspended, except for 428 pin codes where we are operational for dock, and network can send. When I say network, I'm talking about the overseas countries. They can send document for these 428 pin codes only. They cannot send anything else. Anything else that beside that has to be only governed by India. Sir, you are not audible.
Sir, please unmute. You are not audible, sir.
Sorry. These 428 pin codes where you are servicing, that pin codes are not appearing in your website. Can you update those pin codes, that these pin codes service are available, so that the banks abroad can send the take the documents and send it to the banks in India?
Sir, do you have, so are you talking about any particular importer, or you are talking in general?
I'm talking about the documents, like we had some documents from Dubai, which are not accepting. After DHL local office intervention, we could manage it. Now you're showing Brazil is available, but my Brazil exporter is saying that they are unable to send it. And today we have to give them the SWIFT from my bank. Okay, instead of the original document, they can scan the documents over the email, because documents cannot come on the SWIFT. So bank has shared their personal bank email ID, and they are sending the things on email. And based on that email, we will be releasing the payments to them. So, but if the Brazil is accepting,
Yeah, Maheshji, what I'll do, if you have shipments from Brazil and Dubai, we will have someone to get in touch with you, and our account manager will support you to get the documents from abroad.
Your local guy is very supportive and cooperative. Let me tell you, Calcutta person is very, very supportive. Sohail, no? Sohail is there. He's very, very supportive.
Sohail is the service center guy, yeah.
He's a really, really very support. At the moment of the crisis, he's a really big support hand to those.
So we will guide you as to how to get your shipments from Brazil and Dubai.
Yeah, number one. Number two, like see, many people are not working, they're not permitted to work, but they have been permitted to work from home. So as an exporter, people are working from home, getting the documents ready and prepared. So, and they have an account with you, but the account address, pickup address shows of the office. Is it possible that they give an additional declaration to you that, okay, we are working from home and you can collect the pickup from the home?
No, Maheshji, so far, whenever it is on our corporate account, corporate name, we have to follow the guidelines that has been set by corporate. If you have some urgent document to be sent, then that shipment needs to be sent as a retail customer. You need to, to go to the retail office, give a declaration as an individual, and send individual to oversee declaration as an urgent shipment. It cannot be booked as a corporate shipment.
Okay,
Because
I got it.
the moment it is corporate, then you have to get the permission from the government to operate.
No, that's all. But one thing before I finish, but as you are very timely, although it has been delayed, but at a very right time, your services has been resumed, and lot of the exporters, billions of the dollars were at stake, and that has moved out at least of the country, and we anticipate that within next 5-7 days, exporters will start getting their payment. Big support from the DHL on right time.
Thank you, Maheshji. We had been trying it since last 1 month, but it was not an easy activity to activate 49 service centers across the country, because it requires permission from the local body to get the passes. But finally, over a period of time, one by one, we could activate. And yeah, thanks for this appreciation.
Thanks, Ashim. Now we can move to Mr. Sasi Kumar, who has a query.
Yeah,
I
Mr.
think,
Kumar.
sir, we can move to Mr. Debendukar.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Sir, I am from Haldia Petrochemicals. We are basically operating from Kolkata, and we are exporting polymer granules to China, Vietnam, and other neighboring countries. So our requirement is to send the export documents to China, Korea, and Vietnam through DHL. So how can I send those documents? Because DHL local office is saying that they are not operating from Kolkata Sector 5.
Okay, so Sector 5 is Salt Lake Sector 5, right?
Yeah.
So we have our service center in Salt Lake only, Mr. Dibendu.
Yeah.
And servicing you should not be an issue if you have the permission to operate. I am sure Haldia Petrochemical has the permission to operate from the government.
Yeah.
So the process is very simple. Process is that if you are permitted to operate from the government, you need to give the self-declaration. We'll register you. Once you register you, your document shipments can be serviced. Be it we going and picking it up, or you guys coming down and handing over the shipment at our service center, which is in Salt Lake only.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will take down your number, and I will have my team member Satya Rath to call you and guide you on this.
Yeah.
Can I have your sir? You take down my email ID, ashim.sen.
Just a minute, sir. Asim.sen
at dhl.com.
Okay.
You send me one-liner with your coordinates, and I will have the area sales manager of Kolkata to get in touch with you.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank
you. Thanks, Ashimji. Our DG and CEO has some observations to make, so I request Dr. Sahai to please.
I just want a clarification that you said that in the Z zone of Agra and Muradabad, you are not operating. As of date, there are 107 Z zone in the country. That means in many of the red zone, you are operating. So is the case that your office is in the containment area? Because if it is the issue of the red zone, we can definitely take up with the Ministry of Home to allow you some restoration of service of the DHL, because Agra and Muradabad both are important export-centric centers.
Yes, you are right, sir, because that's a big big cluster for us, even for the shoe exporters and marble exporters in Agra, and so is Moradabad. I will check with my operation colleague and let you know whether it's in the containment zone or not. And if we are in containment zone, we'll come back to you. I will get back to you regarding the details.
Yeah. Right, sir. Thank you so much. Som sir, can we unmute Mr. Mayank Bansal? Mr. Bansal, can you raise your query now?
Yes, sir. Good evening. My name is Mayank. We are situated in Ahmedabad. And sir, we are not directly enlisted with DHL, but we are operating through Jet Frets Bombay. They pick up our courier on your behalf. Are you still working with them?
If they have a contract with us, I think you are doing through local players, right? They are a local player.
Sorry? Yeah.
They are a channel partners maybe. They have a tie-up with DHL or any DHL's wholesaler. So
okay.
I will not be able to comment on whether a particular company is still operating with us as a channel partner. But yes, our service for wholesaler business has started, is what I can tell you at this point of time. Whether we are engaged with that particular wholesaler or not will be difficult for us to say at this point of time. I can give you the contacts and you can check whether they are still with us or not.
Okay. So my second question is, in your slide, you had shown the various countries that you're operating in, and we export a lot of our textile to France. But under France, you had mentioned 3 particular places like Metz, Marseille, and one more place. What is this regarding? Are you only operating in these 3 places in France, or what?
Munawar, can you refer that France? Can you refer that sheet? What is mentioned there in France?
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen now. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
A little scroll up, please. Scroll up.
Yes, sir. So the name of 3 places are written under France. What is this regarding?
And these are the places where it seems there is a transit time impact of 1 day. Yeah. Rest all seems to be fine because we don't have any information about France not being operating.
Okay.
Yeah, I think these are 3 places where there is a transit time impact.
Okay, fine. Thank you so
much. Can I have your number, sir? Can I have your number? If it is anything different, we will give you a call. Can I have your number, please?
Number as in mobile number, sir?
Yeah. The contact number, yeah.
My number is 081 457 00345.
081 457 00345. If it is anything different, yes, you will get a call from us on the clarification on France. But I think that what I said is correct. But if there is anything different, we'll give you a call and clarify.
Fine. Thank you so much.
Mr. Som, can we move on to the next, Mr. Mohanty? Mr. S. Mohanty, please.
Sir, we have some export document at our bank, Balasore, Odisha. Internet for dispatch to Japan. But in Balasore, Odisha, they are not accepting the documents from bank for onward shipment to Japan.
So let me look up to my Blue Dart pin code. Just give me a minute. Can you tell me your pin code, sir?
Sir, pin code.
Okay, no problem. I'll just check with the state.
pin code Balasore bank का क्या?
No, sir. Balasore service has not yet opened. We have place like I'll tell you a few places in Orissa where we have service, and if it is near to that place, then perhaps you can go down and hand over. It is Angol, Behrampur, Bhubaneswar, Chandrashekarpur, Katak, Gajapati, Jagat Singhpur, Khurda, Nimpara, Nuapara, Puri, Raurkela, Sambalpur. So these are the places we are serving currently from Orissa. If any of these locations are close to your place, you can go there and hand over the shipments.
Okay, sir. Next, some samples are lying at Kharagpur for onward movement to Kolkata. Is it possible?
Sir, Kharagpur is a completely red zone. Kharagpur is completely a red zone. We are not getting any permission. Too much of very difficult, sir. Currently, so we need to wait a bit because even today I was talking to one of our customers in Kharagpur. It's in completely red zone, and moving shipments in and out from there is a big challenge.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashimji. Next, Miss Soumya.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please.
Yeah. Sir, I just wanted to ask you that we had a situation just recently. Our courier was supposed to being sent to Bank of Baroda, Dubai, and then they were being received at Tuticorin. So we were able to send them to Dubai, but the Dubai office of Bank of Baroda said that Tuticorin DHL is not operational and we're not able to send it. So can you tell me, give an update us, is it operational, and are the couriers being accepted there?
Sorry, I could not follow the question. Can you please repeat?
So, our courier was supposed to be sent to the Bank of Baroda, Dubai, and the Dubai Bank of Baroda said that Tuticorin DHL service is non-operational right now. So, can you please give us an update on that? Because it's a port there, and we have shipments.
Okay, and this is Bank of Baroda, Tuticorin, right?
Bank of Baroda, Dubai to Tuticorin.
Tuticorin where?
The port services.
To which company?
The banks there, the whole it specifically said that Tuticorin is not accepting. We cannot move our courier to
No,
the
ma'am,
here.
what you have to understand, the shipment will come from Bank of Baroda, Dubai to which company in Tuticorin?
So I don't have the company name, but I have the people who have to accept. I mean, I'm sorry, I just know this state. So can you just give us an update that whether that place is operational?
Whether that place is operational. Give me a minute. Can I have that PIN code, please? And we will come back to you.
I don't have PIN code. Can you give me an email ID and I'll write the whole situation to you so that you can update us on the same?
Okay, you take down my email ID, you write to me, and I will connect you with the right person within DHL.
Sure, sir. Can you please repeat your email ID?
ashim.sen@dhl.com.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Arjun Shankar. Can we unmute Mr. Arjun Shankar, please?
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, you are. Please.
Yeah. So I'm Arjun calling from Tuticorin. We are exporters of tea to Iran, Bandarabas. Right now, we've been doing the shipments through the documents, courier through Atlantic. But they have forfeited all the courier services from out of Tuticorin to Bandarabas. Now, in future, how do I send it? This Blue Dart operating, DHL is operating?
DHL is there.
To Iran, Bandarabas.
The destination, you have to check on that URL that we have given it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. But so far as India is concerned, yes, Tuticorin should not be a problem.
Okay. But are you catering to Iran, Bandar Abbas?
Can you look up hours?
Yeah.
I think these information of these aspects, either you can reach out to a customer service or that URL, because these are all destination specific or location specific. All are available in the public domain or a customer service. You can get those details.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you.
I request Munawar to please share that slide so everyone can note the link, and for any such reference, we can just straight away refer that. And still we have some queries, so Ashim has already shared his email address, so that can be handled offline. Munawar, can you just...
I think Munawar, what you do is that share that customer service number and the URL so that everybody can take a note of that, because I think they are the right contacts to to be approached. Beside couple of customers for whom I have given email ID, is I will address those two questions. But otherwise, I think these are the email ID and or the telephone number and link that everyone can look up and get the information. Our customer service is fully operational.
Yeah, so this is the link here.
आप उधर कॉपी करके लास्ट स्लाइड पे डाल दीजिए.
Right, Mr. Swam, can we move on to the next Fahad Maknogia, please? Yes, sir, please. Then we can move on to the next, Mr. Huda, Ajay Huda, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you are audible. Please go.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, Prashant ji, Ajay ji, Aluwalia ji, Singh ji. We are an exporting company situated in Delhi NCR in Bahadurgarh, and we exported our 2 containers for the Philippines based on LC terms. And they reached the port on 22nd of March, just 2 days before the lockdown. And they were able to be shipped in April. So we were asking the documents from our agents so they can just send the documents to us and we can further send it to the Philippines. But the issue is that they tried to contact so many courier agencies in Mumbai, but they were unable to send us the documents. We are sending out documents sometimes from Global India Express, which is in Delhi, and we tried to get in touch with them, but they denied us that they are closed. So how to get our documents from Mumbai to Bahadurgarh?
I think this is a domestic movement, and ideally you should approach Blue Dart at the retail counter and get the shipment moving if they are accepting it.
But they have denied it.
When did you check?
Sorry.
Around when did you check? Because the services things are evolving, so things may be different by now.
We checked yesterday also.
Okay. If then I'm sorry, then I'll not be able to address that point because that's a domestic movement, and if Blue Dart is a sister concern, if they are not able to service this movement, then unfortunately, then we are not operating for this lane at this point of time.
I have one question from Ajay Saiji also. Can I ask?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Can you hear, sir?
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Actually, the shipment which I am talking about, Philippines, the payment terms are based on LC8 side. So my bank is State Bank of India, and I contacted them that we have already shipped the container, and actually it's based on LC8 side. So can we discount it? But you are also aware that some of the courier agencies have started now, and people were not aware before. So when we talked with State Bank of India, I just asked them, we need some financial help, and we have already shipped our container. But can you accept if we send the documents to you by email, and you can discount our documents so we can get some help from the bank?
We are not a factoring agency who will discount the document. What I will request you that if you feel that banks are in a position to help you out, provide the details of the bank. We will be able to facilitate your terms with the bank, and they may come out to help you out.
Okay, sir.
Right. Next question, Mr. Kundan Singh, please.
सुन पा रहे सर?
हाँ जी, प्लीज बोलिए।
सर बोल रहा था हमारे यहाँ से हम लोग जमशेदपुर से एक्सपोर्ट जैसे कि हमारा कुछ दमाम गया, सऊदी अरबिया, इस्तांबुल गया, और यहाँ से मेरे बैंक को हमने डॉक्यूमेंट सबमिट कर दिया ताकि मेरे कंसाइनमेंट को बैंक को दे सके।
Sir, you are not audible properly.
Are you listening now? Now it's okay. Hello. Now it's okay.
Mr. Som, yeah, can we unmute? Can we mute everyone except him?
Yeah. Background noise is coming from Mr. Kundan's end.
Yeah, now sir.
Yeah, somebody
now
else.
Are you listening properly? Now sir. Now.
कुंदन जी आपके पीछे
बोलिए
कोई बात कर रहा है।
आवाज आ रही है सर? आवाज आ रही है?
नहीं, आपके यहाँ पीछे कोई बात हो रही है। You are not audible. So maybe you can drop us an email, या आप मेरे से individually बात कर लीजिएगा. We will try to address it. The next query, Mr. Ganesh Purohit, please.
So hello everybody. My query is again regarding Blue Dart service, which is not currently, we were told it is not available from Coimbatore and from Bombay. So the documents are stuck up and we cannot get the payments processed. So has anybody from Blue Dart joined the discussion? They were supposed to be on the call.
Yes, sir. They were supposed to be on call, and I think they have not joined as of now. But you should not worry about it, because we are going to do another session next week. Because we have got a feeler what kind of queries needs to be addressed. So there might be a couple companies we will try to rope in along with Blue Dart, and DHL if convenient, they can also join. And otherwise you can mail query and we will try to handle it on an individual basis.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
So we move on to the next, Mr. Dalbir Singh.
Hello. Hello.
Please proceed.
Yeah, my question with DHL. I'm a merchant exporter, and we want to ship medical devices from Mysore to USA. I'm based on Pune. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Ashim, can you please respond?
Yeah. You can. If you have the permission from the government to operate, you can you can give the self-declaration and move the shipment?
I have
If you
already self-declaration sent to your my account manager, Sharad Sonone. But right now there is no feedback from the DHL for the pricing and what is the process.
Okay. So what you do, you get in touch with Mr. Ashish Agarwal.
Ashish Agarwal. Okay.
Yeah, he is my counterpart in West India,
Okay.
and he'll be able to help you out.
This is mail ID of the Ashish Agarwal or contact number?
Ashish.agarwal.
Okay.
@DHL.com.
DHL.com. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Agarwal is AGRA. Okay, Agarwal.
Agarwal, no?
ASHISH.
ASHISHAGARA.
RA.
Okay.
AGRA.
Okay.
Yeah, can we move to the next and maybe the last one from Mr. Jinesh?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir, please. Jinesh ji, बोलिए. Mr. Som, can we unmute Jinesh and maybe the last question from Mr. Agarwal? We will reach out to Mr. Jinesh separately.
Yes, sir. Good evening to all. Sir, we are discussing the same situation what has happened now, and there is quite clear it is a very big backlog for the delivering of documents. Sir, I have the same problem. Blue Dart is not delivering from Bombay to me the BL for the last 1.5 months since 24th of May. So, sir, what we can do now, I am taking in account Mr. Sahai. Sir, can FIO make any such arrangement? We have the photocopy of the BL, we have the copies of this packing list and invoice and country of origin certificate. Can BL just endorse it with the stamp and we can send that mail to the buyer's bank and that we can get our payment? Because there is so much big backlog now, nothing seems to be possible if we completely depend on for the timing on the courier companies.
In fact, one has to look into your terms of payment and what kind of LC you have. I think this COVID has also,
My term of payment is DP at site, sir.
DP at site. No, for that documents would be required. I don't think that you will be able to do it. For that documents would be required.
Original documents to be required, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So we have covered most of the queries, and now I request Mr. Ahluwalia to please propose a vote of thanks, and we thank everyone. Yes, sir. Mr. Ahluwalia, please.
I am audible?
Yes, sir, please.
The idea of conducting this meeting, video conference, where I still feel a shortfall is all the banks are not connected with DHL. Ashim, can I have idea what is the percentage of the forex banks? How much, I mean, percentage wise, 70%, 80% are already connected with DHL, or still there is a huge gap?
Mr. Ahluwalia, I think DHL's coverage for banks will be nothing less than 85-90%. We are tied up with almost every banks in India. So if there is any particular bank who is unable to send shipment from India, please let us know, and we'll be eager to figure out what we should do, because we have a separate banking team in India who only takes care of bank business, both Indian banks as well as global banks.
This is my son. Where you are not operating, but your company Blue Dart is operating, can together handle the rest of the area? Is it possible?
Which one you are talking about, sir? Which area you are talking about? I didn't get that.
I said the area, the bankers, forex bankers, which you are not covering as a DHL because of the permission or your operations. Can you add up the rest of the area with the help of the Blue Dart? So the 100% coverage will come as far as the forex banks are concerned.
So the process is same. If we are not able to operate, because they have to give the shipments to us. So because they don't have an international network, Blue Dart will pick up the shipment and hand over the shipments to DHL. So the process remains the same for DHL as well as Blue Dart. So if Blue Dart, as I mentioned, that 525 plus pin codes are managed by Blue Dart in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. We are there in 40 cities through 49 service centers, which is operational currently. So this should take care of most of the banks. If there are any banks which are missing out, then we need to know that, and we'll figure out what is the best way to address their requirement.
Secondly, I just want to have an idea, though it is not connected here. We have suggested to the airlines, to take care of the cargo, as the passenger freight is not there. It was required for their survival also. Are they helping to take the cargo from India to abroad? Are they operating that way?
Which airline
the
you're talking
passenger
about?
aircrafts are not moving, are they? Any airline you can take?
No, we are not aware of. We are only aware of Spice Cargo operating in international line haul. Besides Spice Cargo, we have not heard about any Indian domestic operator operating international. Air India has perhaps operated a few flights for urgent material or essential material, but from the private sector, we have only heard about Spice Cargo from within the Indian domestic scheduled players.
Right, sir? Ahluwalia ji? I think Mr. Ahluwalia has not there. So we thank DHL, all the team members of DHL. We thank Vijay, EICI, and all the participants for making up to this, attending this meeting. I hope it might have given you some idea how the industry is moving forward. And to keep you updated, we'll try to figure out and do such sessions on a regular basis. And the next one, maybe we can plan it next week, where all of you can also join. So thank you once again and stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.